Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Justin, and today I will be discussing day 3 of the 2019 World Figure Skating Championships, and I'm going to call this video a highlights video instead of a recap, just because I actually want these videos to be shorter. I think my last two were over 20 minutes long, and it's becoming harder to watch all of the competition live in real time because I'm getting tired. I'm on the West Coast, so I'm falling asleep through more of the program. So I tried to catch what I could, but it wasn't everything. And I think this is okay because it saves some things for me to talk about later on when I do the full competition recap with a friend. That video will probably be 2 hours long. So if you're looking forward to that, stay tuned to my channel. But back on to day 3. Let's start with the ladies because that discipline has completed. It is in the books, and Alina Zagitova of Russia is our new world champion, and this is really exciting news for her because she did not even land on the podium last year, which was a month and a half after she won the gold medal in Korea for the Olympic Games. So this kind of validates her status as a champion per se for those who maybe aren't her biggest fans, but she is such an amazing athlete and her free skate was technically sound. I thought she did really good. She may have skated a little bit careful and not as free, but that's me being extremely nitpicky. I'm aware of that. Otherwise, she was happy with it. Her coach, Iteri, was even happy with it, so it's all good. Her coach, speaking of which, is also really happy because she also teaches the skater who won the silver medal here, which is Elizabeth Tursunbayeva from Kazakhstan. And what was so special about her was that she landed the quad Salchow. So it was clean, fully rotated, and given positive grade of execution marks by the judges. And I gotta say, it's not just the quad. After she landed that in her program, she kept landing all of her other difficult jumps. She was just flying across the ice, and this is so great to see Elizabeth like that because she's been struggling to rise in the ranks over the past few years, and she made a major change last summer with her coaching team and environment, and it seems to be paying off now. So we'll just have to see what happens with her next year if she continues to do the quad, and also what happens to the other skaters who will be attempting quads. A lot of people are talking about how high Elizabeth's program component marks are compared to what she has been getting in the past. And I'm not gonna lie, I do notice quite a bit of a jump. I'm seeing some really high 8s here, mid to high 8s, when I'm pretty sure low 8s and high 7s were the norm for her before. So the judges seem to like to give a PCS boost for landing some difficult technical elements, which, you know, that happens in our sport. A lot of us are aware of it. So we'll just have to watch out for that trend. And then another exciting thing that happened was another Russian skater, Evgenia Medvedeva, won a medal. It's bronze. Now, a lot of us are going to be confused why that's a great thing because she's won this competition twice before in the past. And I was there in 2016, Worlds in Boston, when she won it, one of those times. And it's special because of the season she's had. She's definitely struggled from the very beginning with the new coaching and training environment, much like Elizabeth's case. And it's a learning season. It's a season of reconstructing her jumps, changing the technique on a lot of things. And when you do that, that takes time. Your body's so used to doing a jump one way for so many years. When you have to tweak it, even sometimes a minor tweak, that can take sometimes at least a year to see good results. But it was nice to know that she was patient throughout the season. Timing was perfect, and she peaked at the right moment, which was the World Figure Skating Championships. Kudos to Evgenia. Really nice program component marks, low 9s, enjoyable programs. The biggest mistake in her free skate was actually an under rotation on double axel. So, hey, if you're gonna make a mistake, do it on the double axel. And yeah, her triple Salchow triple loop, whew, that was beautiful towards the beginning of the program. Yeah, so that was really good. What else can I talk about with the ladies? Oh, Rika Kihira. That was, man, that was close. You want to know how close? She was in 4th place by like 4/10 of a point in terms of the total score. So Evgenia Medvedeva won with 223.8, and Rika Kira of Japan was in fourth with 223.49. And get this, she was seventh after the short, as you probably know, but she was second in the free skate. So she did rally back up and did give a strong performance. The thing that held her back was the two triple axels. One was not perfect. She fell on one. She should be thankful, though, that she tacked on a triple toe of the first triple axel to gain the points. Whew. But yeah, speaking of Rika and being from Japan, it's also hard to grasp right now that no Japanese lady is on the podium at the World Figure Skating Championships in Japan. And that's a big deal because I definitely thought one of them, at least one, would be on the podium because they're all so good. The ladies field in Japan is so deep. You can probably take someone who placed 10th at Japanese Nationals and they would be competitive at Worlds. But they are, just to show how great skaters the Japanese girls are, is they place 4th, 5th, and 6th here. All three of them high up in the top 10. I mean, they were so close. And what went wrong? Gotta say, mistakes. You know? And quick ones too. So a fall for Rika. Kaori Sakamoto in her free program popped the flip when everything else was looking good. And then Satoko Miyahara. Actually, I'm not gonna lie, I did not watch Satoko's skates, but I did see the protocols, which I have here in front of me. She was 6th overall, or 6th in the free program, and it really just looks like her program component marks are much lower than the girls who placed on the podium, which is unfortunate because Satoko is a very great skater. If you took away the jumps, I firmly believe that Satoko would win any competition she entered. Great choreography, super elegant, very strong. There's a lot of strength in her strokes. Like, she's tiny but like emotes to a large crowd easily. So that's just a bummer. I see there's an error. Let's see, on the last combination she had, triple flip, triple toe, double loop. But that's something that's interesting to note. I hope she isn't too discouraged by this in upcoming seasons if she wants to rise in the ranks again, because she is a former world medalist. But I don't know what it's going to take because I think she has the technical down. It's just about that second mark, but it should already be really high with the other ladies. Well, something to think about. Let's look at the results. American ladies, they did not do well enough to earn us 3 spots again. And I know everybody really wanted that. That actually wasn't my biggest goal or wish out of this year's Worlds. I'm just glad that they both finished in the top 10. So Brady Tennell had the higher placement in 7th place, and Mariah Bell in 9th. Those are, respectable placements. Let's see. They both actually did a really good job in the free programs. So Brady Tennell, I think, that was redemption for her. Was almost completely perfect except for on her second triple Lutz triple toe combination. Otherwise, I thought she was spot on. What she needs to work on in the future is that second mark program components. That's just going to come with time of being successful and consistent. And the more time she's consistent in a competition, the more positive light the judges will see her in. And maybe, finding the right programs and choreographers for her could help. But otherwise, I think she did the best of her ability in the free skate. And same with Mariah Bell, too. Very impressive. A fan favorite, despite all the drama that's going on. I was surprised that her and Unsu Lim were able to skate pretty clean programs. So kudos to them. Mariah Bell, I think the thing to note is that she just does one less triple than a lot of the other ladies do. She leaves out the triple sow cow, and so that gives her a deficit in the technical mark. So that's really unfortunate. And no major triple in the free program. I think the goal for her is to have a greater effect with clean jumps and less difficulty. But if you want to rise in the ranks, you want to get the US its third spot back, you really need to be super competitive and do as many triples as you are allowed. So there's that. And the last thing I will say is Gabby Daleman of Canada. Wow. So y'all didn't tell me when I woke up that she did a triple Lutz triple toe combination in the beginning of her program. Oh my gosh, that is huge. So it was clean, positive grade of execution marks from the judges. One judge gave it a -3 GOE, and I pray to God that it was a typo on their part because that was a killer combination. And amazing first half of the program. Did jumps that were more difficult to her in the early half of the program, which I was surprised by. The second half, the jump slipped a little bit, but was far from a disaster. When I say slipped, she went for the double axel triple toe, fell on that, and then doubled a lot of her intended triple jumps. So that's unfortunate. But hey, what was cool to see was that she kept fighting through the program, and she even looked like she was enjoying it. For the last 30 seconds into her step sequence, into her last spin. I am just so happy. And you know what? She did well enough to earn Canada 2 spots for the World Figure Skating Championships next year in Montreal, which I hope to be there for. Kudos to Gabby. This is a really good stepping stone in her recovery process, and I'm just so excited to see her compete again next season from the start. Oh, looking forward to that. And I think that's where I'll end my highlights. And I'm already at 11 minutes. Wow, I can talk for a long time. Let's move on to ice dance because the athletes competed their rhythm dances. And to no surprise at all, Gabriela Papadakis and Guillaume Cizeron of France are in first place by a huge margin, 88.42. And let me tell you, it's them, and then everyone else is fighting for the silver medal. So second place finishers Victoria and Nikita from Russia have a score of 83.94. And then if you go down to 8th place, Piper Gilles and Paul Poirier have a score of 80.44. They're in 8th place. So there's a lot of potential for movement within placements 2 to 8. It's ridiculous. Let's focus on Gabriela and Guillaume. Wow, they were so good. They were the last skaters that I saw, and they were just simply the class of the field. I think they do a great job of combining, a lot of power and elegance. When they start off their rhythm dance, they do their twizzle series, and you think, okay, this is just as good as any other ice dance team. But then right afterwards, there's a little bit of a hop, like Gabriela jumps into Guillaume's arms, and then it is intense for every single second for the remainder of that rhythm dance. They're so good. I think they are perfectly on point with the choreography every second. There's never a dull moment. It's almost like... So sorry, by the way, if you don't know, I'm ice dance stupid. I don't know anything. I'm not Erin Conley. I'm not Nicole Karpinski or my other friends who are really knowledgeable about ice dance. Josh Kennan is also really good. I like to think of it as every time they were skating, you could snap a photo and they would look picture perfect. It's like they were always camera ready. What else did I write down? My notes is that the program may or may not be your style, but there's no denying of how good they are, how passionate they are with each other, and how that's portrayed to the audience. They are very the class of the field. That's all I got to say. Because I'm not great with ice dance, I don't exactly know how to comment the best on everyone else. But I will say that it seemed like the tech panel for ice dance was really generous, which may be a good thing because everyone is getting their levels mostly on their twizzles. Although I see here Victoria and Nikita who are in second place. I think one of them did not get the full level on their step sequence or the twizzles in the beginning. But otherwise, yeah. And even grade of execution marks are great for everyone, and program component marks are really close. I'm looking right here. Second place, 37.84. Third place, 37.42. Yeah, fourth place, Madison Hubble and Zach, 37.54. I mean, it's just so close. I don't know how you pick it apart. That's up to the judges. I'm glad I'm not one of them. But let me go through my notes and I'll try to give a mini recap, I guess. So, Madison Chalk and Evan Bates, very sultry from the very beginning of the rhythm dance. Interesting choreography to start. I like that they don't go directly into the twizzle, so they kind of lay the tone for the program at first, which is very interesting. I like seeing that from them. And I just can't take my eyes off of Madison Chalk. I think she's a star. She's very beautiful and sexy to look at, and they definitely have better and deeper edges than I've seen from them prior to moving to Montreal for training. So that's some good things to note. The best part of that program, though, was the rotational lift at the end of the program. It's such a powerful move and a lot of speed and strength going to that last pose with the music. It's just stunning. I really liked it. And then, oh, I'm going out of order. I'm so sorry. So, yeah, Madison Chalk and Evan Bates, they were six with that rhythm dance, and it was great. And then let's jump around to fourth, Madison Hubble and Zachary Donahue. I took these notes in orders that I saw them, so I apologize. So a great team to look at. They're both very stunning, very tall, very statuesque and regal. Twizzles in the beginning looked very aggressive and borderline like it could go out of control, but they did not, so they received full credit with creative execution marks in the positive, so that was good. Movements are really sharp all around. That's what I like about this team. It's a very dramatic and like all the movements are held for the perfect amount of time. Not too short and not too long, because that's a deduction if you hold a lift for too long. So great attention to detail all around. I even think that Madison focuses on pointing her toes a lot, which is great. And the curve lift in their program is the highlight for me. And then I took notes on the Russian team that finished in third place. So Alexandra Stepanova and Ivan Bukin. I apologize for butchering that name, the pronunciation, but they had a very dark, edgy, and different take to the Tango Romantica theme for the rhythm dance this year. I really like it. They are very fast and precise with the twizzles perfectly choreographed to the music. And I think actually the whole program was constructed that way, like on par with the beats. And I realized that being so on point with the choreography and the music is a turnoff for some people, but not me. I don't mind it at all. And I like the energy that they brought. And it seemed that even though this program was dark and edgy, it seemed to suit who they authentically were. That's the vibe I got. It did not feel like they were acting out a dance. It was just being themselves. So that was really great. And then I don't have my notes, but I did see some more skaters. So Caitlin Weaver and Andrew Poje of Canada did as good as always. They are very light, and it's like they float across the ice, and also very sultry. Caitlin is an amazing actress. She utilizes her facial expressions really well for having softer body movements. And that I really appreciate. And then we have, I did see Victoria Sinitsina and Nikita. I'm not going to try to pronounce that last name. I'm so sorry. But I did see them. Also had an edgier program as well, like their Russian teammates here. I don't remember too many details that I could comment on. And then, yeah, I think I'll leave it at that. Did I discuss Piper and Paul of Canada? No, so they are kind of in 8th place, so they're at the bottom of the pack that's fighting for the silver medal, but not by much. I liked Piper's dress, and the rhythm dance was very pleasing to watch. I mean, I'm sorry if that's not enough detail, but it's true. So hopefully any casual fan who watches the rhythm dance at Worlds, or someone who maybe doesn't understand ice dance as much, can still appreciate watching the programs, maybe without understanding the scores. But I don't know what's going to happen in the free dance. I anticipate a lot of mixing around. As we saw in Four Continents, someone could go from being the clear favorite for the title going into the free dance to landing off the podium. Twizzle mishap could happen. By the way, I watched some of the earlier groups before falling asleep, and yeah, twizzle mishaps are a thing, and they're a big loss of points. And sometimes you never know when you are going to receive a deduction for holding an extended lift for too long. So, a lot of things to look out for. And wow, this video is already 20 minutes long. So, thank you for watching, everyone, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Goodbye.